Welcome to Rich Conversations. I'm here with my cousin Frank, who's back on the show. The last time we had you on, that was episode 40, and this is going to be like 241, around there.
That's impressive for Richie Rich over here. That's for sure. It's a lot of people to talk to. That's a lot of questions to ask. It's good. You're thirsty for knowledge.
Welcome back.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you back. Now, the last time that we did a recording, this was June 2020.
So almost 2 years ago to the day.
Yeah, we're recording this in June 22. We were at the farm by the pond.
Did I have my shirt on?
You did have your shirt on, so I did require you for this episode to put a shirt on. You come out here without a shirt.
I still don't want to be wearing this shirt. I will stand by that decision from the second you showed up. I did not want to put a shirt on. But that's all right. That's all right. I guess we're doing it for the viewers or the people, the listeners.
Safety of the
the well-being of anybody that's on the other end of this. Yeah, right. Okay, I'll buy into it.
But today we're recording just outside your garage. We're just hanging out. We got your boat right here. We got your motorcycle.
Yeah, things. You got stuff. Yeah, man, everybody's got stuff, you know. It's all right, dude. Motorcycle riding's where it's at, man. That's a free. You ever rode a motorcycle?
I think I'm too afraid to.
Dude, don't be afraid. What's there to be afraid of? Getting hurt?
Yeah.
Come on. There's nothing more freeing than being on two wheels, man. Especially at high speeds. It's fun. It's so freeing. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, you've told me stories of.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I've done some wild things. I've been around, dude. Done some wild things in this world. That's for sure, man. There's no doubt about it.
Well, why don't we get more into this? So, this is like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What has been happening in your life the last 2 years?
2 years, man. That's almost like too big of a bracket to expand on, man. Oh. I mean, my daughter's 2 years older, so that's something, you know. She's definitely gone from being a little girl to a young lady, and watching that is different. You know, because she was always a daddy's little girl. She always loved being with her dad. She was used to, when she was a baby, I remember she only used to fall asleep on my shoulder. And now she's this, like, person, you know, with her own really cool perspectives and her own really cool viewpoints. And, man, when you realize that your kid is like you, oh, man, so many.
Like you specifically.
Yeah, right. You know, like me specifically. You know, it's like, oh, man, you are my kid. That's for sure. Just some of the stuff that comes out of her mouth. And, you know, she's an extremely social butterfly, too, man. So she just had her last day of school, I think, on Thursday. And what is it, Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday. So her last day of school consisted of her taking pictures with almost every single. She literally has a picture with every single teacher that she knew there. And, like, man, she made it a cool day for herself. And, like, after she came home, she was so excited to show me all that stuff, dude. And, like, she's not kidding. She's got, like, 1,000 pictures with, like, individual pictures with everybody, you know? Like, holy, she could have made a yearbook out of her phone, you know?
So she did it all on her phone.
Yeah.
Because you showed me pictures before. You guys went to the Dells.
That was still one of the best times. Without a doubt, man, I didn't have much money at the time, but I spent every penny I had on that trip, and that still stands out to me as some of the best times I ever had in my life, period. Like, not with anybody else, you know what I mean? It was with my kid. Like, that was an adventure, man. And I'm actually going back up to that spot at the end of August to go muskie fishing. Wish I got some new muskie rods and reels, too, Pete Mena would be jealous, but he's a professional muskie
guy.
Yeah. That's a good reference. But anyway, yeah, that was an awesome time. Since then, there haven't been much excitement. I did go to Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee, for a little while.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was boy.
Yeah, I feel like you tell me a lot, and you didn't even tell me about that
No,
trip.
that just kind of glanced in my head because me and my buddy were talking about it the other day, and man, there was some life-changing stuff that happened down there, and so Memphis is a cool spot, man. It's grimy, but I like that, you know, like
Yeah.
I like that. It's grimy, dude. Like you know, you're rubbing shoulders with some questionable mofos out there, you know. And but dude, the music, the vibe, the whole dude, you just can't beat it. It was something special, man. And like we saw this, it was crazy because we went down there with like no plans, nothing. We didn't
Yeah.
have a hotel. We just said let's go down there, let's check out the scene, let's see how it goes. And man, we were like, this is gonna be cool, dude. This is gonna be all right. And yeah, man, we walked into the first bar. I think it was called the Juke Joint. I forget the name of the whole place, but oh man, this dude was it. All right, to give you a backstory. Now I'm just gonna get into story mode here. So to give you the backstory, a long time ago, I used to work for this guy, and I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. Okay,
Yeah.
and we walked into the warehouse or whatever, and they were having a discussion, and he was listening to Pink Floyd, and we were like, oh, Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd. And he's like, Pink Floyd? I'd rather listen to Phil Collins than Pink Floyd. And I was like, what did you just say, bro? What? So from that point on, and this is probably close to 20 years ago, from that point on, Phil Collins was off the listening list, dude. Never again am I listening to Phil Collins. And I didn't. So me and my boy Caddy Matty, who I went to Memphis and Nashville with, real cool dude. He's a cool, smooth cat. Dude, we popped into this joint, and this dude was singing Phil Collins, man, and drumming his ass off. I've never in my life been to a show where I've seen somebody sing and perform with more conviction than this fella, dude. It was incredible. And like I was like, dude, I don't want to leave this spot, dude. I got a feeling this is the best music on the strip. So like we hung out there for a while, probably an hour, and until they took a break. And when they took a break, we're like, all right, let's go check out the other spots. Bro, they were hands down like miles in front of everybody else. Don't get me wrong, there were some great acts and some good music, and like I said, great vibes, good food, real crazy place, man. And they were without it. We ended up back there while they were playing again, man. And I was fortunate enough to meet the guy. His name was Jeremy. I don't know his band name. I don't know. And I tried finding out, and so did he. And we didn't get the band name for some reason. And man, meeting him was incredible, dude. He just blew it out of the water. And then man, that was something, dude. Memphis was something. And I was not ready for Nashville. So the security guard at the place we stayed at in Memphis, real smooth, heavy set old black dude, man. Cool as shit, dude. What the fuck was his name? I forget his name. He had a cool name. It was like Felix or something like that. And I was like, so man, we're going to Nashville tomorrow. What's Nashville like? And he goes, hey, dude, he got real serious. He stood up tall, looked me right in the eye. He goes, brother, he said, Nashville is every bachelorette party within 300 miles. And I said, what, dude? You're out of your mind, dude. I didn't believe him. Like
I believe him.
I thought he was messing with me. Dude, when we pulled into Nashville, bro, oh my God. First of all, the amount of people, it was like being in New York City, bro. For real, I could not believe the amount of people that were in this pretty cool city. And it was a very heavy development city because all you saw in the skyline were giant cranes building new, freaking huge buildings, you know? And, man, he wasn't kidding. Literally, and I mean it, literally by the busload, just women everywhere. And I was fully unaware and not ready to go to the city of Nashville because when we walked down a Broadway, and I have a picture of it, the amount of people in these bars, and it's a pretty long stretch of road in the downtown area, and it is packed. Not just, and you know, not like Wisconsin, not like Milwaukee, where it's just it's a bar, it's a floor,
It's a floor.
Yeah, occasionally you get
It's a floor.
Yeah, occasionally you get 2 floors, maybe 3 in a basement or whatever. Bro, here like Kid Rock spot, dude, you're talking 5 full stories of women hanging out empty windows, like screaming their asses off, puking, doing all this. Like, you don't expect it. They take their buses, dude, their full-size buses, and they cut the midsection out completely and put, like, plastic tarp and plastic, like, clear plastic. So you'll just be hanging out, and all of a sudden a busload of half-naked women will drive by shaking their asses at you. You can't ask for nothing better, and they're all in their country get-ups? Come on, man.
So it sounds like you had a good time on this trip.
It was out of control, dude. It was unexpected, and man, I like I've said, and I've had some major foot problems, dude, but whew, I wasn't ready for Nashville, man. I just wasn't. It was so much, and it was really fun though, man. Yeah, it was a random whim thing, and again, it was just one of those things that I'd do it again. I'd do it again right now. If you call me right now and say you want to go to Memphis, I'd say absolutely, man. Grab me a wheelchair. Let's get her done, dude. And we go. You know? So, yeah, that was something.
Yeah, and you always make fun of me about Chicago and all the people there.
Oh, yeah, I was horrified, dude. Like, that's the thing, man. My anxiety shot through the roof. I was like, this is so many people, dude. I don't even know what to do. But that has a flip side, too, because it was so packed that you couldn't get in anywhere. And so this is where the difference was between Memphis and Nashville, is that Memphis, it was like this cool, smooth, like maybe 1 mile-ish strip, not even probably. And like you got the opportunity where it was spaced out enough to where you got to sit and listen outside before you actually went in the spot and like, all right, let's listen to this dude for a minute. Stand outside, kind of get the vibe of the place, check it out, and then be like, all right, cool, go in here, have a drink, or go on to the next spot. Nashville, it was just so much in such a like you couldn't differentiate when you're outside one bar from the next because the people playing could literally be 1/2 of a foot away from you with no divider playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their backs would be to the street and they'd be right there playing. And like you couldn't like separate the music, which kind of sucked in a way because like I wanted to see a lot of these acts, dude, like some of these bands. I'm a country fan. I listen to country all the time. And, not being able to see some of those, it was kind of disappointing, but the party couldn't have been bigger. The crowds, I mean, if you would have had any more people there, it would have just been like a standstill. You know what I mean? Because it was just so packed, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It sounds like a great trip.
It was. I recommend going to both of those cities, dude. I would say you need to visit there. But you're right. I am a diehard Wisconsin person, dude. So it's like, for somebody like me to even cross state lines, it's like, what are you doing, man?
Do we have, I took a photo of your mailbox on the way in.
Oh, yeah.
This big Packers one. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we got it right here. Somewhere over here where I'm pointing.
It's floating?
Yeah.
Can I, like, hold it somehow?
Yeah.
Is it, if it's there?
Huge diehard Packer fan.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the Packers right now?
Well.
Oh, he's got a phone call.
Oh, it's actually an important one, too. Hold on 1 second here. What's going on, buddy? I'm actually shooting a podcast right now with my cousin in front of my garage. I'm shooting a podcast with my cousin in front of my garage. So technically you're on it right now because we didn't stop it for me to answer the phone. So a podcast. Yeah, like a podcast. Like a cast that pods.
He's probably talking to our grandma right now.
Get out of here.
A podcast? What's a podcast? A radio
Now
show?
we're making fun of you. Sorry, they can't hear you. It's just me, so the context is all funny. But what can I do for you, sir? Okay. Call me later? All right. Sorry about that. I don't pay attention to the off season until the first.
Wait a minute. It looks like you got a new phone.
It's newer.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's the same phone that you've seen, but new. That's it. It's the exact same phone.
Yeah, Frank has a flip phone.
Yeah.
He's Frank is old school.
There's a reason I have a flip phone, Richie, and that's to avoid all of the nonsense that goes on the thing that they now call the internet. When it was created, it used to be called the World Wide Web.
Oh, okay, so now it's the internet.
You're not about that.
It comes in handy, apparently. You know, you got to have email these days. But
So then, okay, so
I need
you
it
have
on
the
my
flip phone,
Oh, yeah.
and it works, obviously.
Oh, it works.
Very,
great.
very well.
Yeah.
So then how do you, this is something I'm having conversations with friends and like raising children. What do you do with Janella, your daughter?
So this is going to be a little bit of a different situation than anybody else you talk to because I don't have control over that.
Okay.
So I was all for getting her a phone, but I wanted to get her a flip phone specifically so she could make calls, take calls, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because the internet is full of crazy stuff, man. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. It's the internet.
It's all there.
It's all there, dude. Whatever.
Anything you want to see, it's there.
If you have a thought, it's on the internet
it's on the
somewhere.
internet.
It's floating around on the microchips one way or another. So, you know, her mom got her the latest and greatest iPhone, 97 or whatever they are now, and you know, she spends a lot of time on that thing. But it's weird to watch. So, like right now, you and me are sitting here having a conversation.
Yeah, rich conversation.
Yeah, a rich conversation. Right. So it's interesting. Like when I wanted to hang out with my friends, you used to have the cord attached. And
Yeah.
hey, what's up, man? That's how it used to be. And like it's like, do you want to hang out? Because this is dumb. I don't want to talk on the phone. Let's hang out and beat each other up or whatever the case. Play video games, whatever it is. And that's not how kids hang out anymore. Kids just hang out on the phone. Just, they prop their phone up and shoot TikToks and face chats and all that. It's like whatever, man. Like, that's cool, dude. Like it's hard for a old school cat like me to like make that transition because it's like, why don't you just go over there, ride your bike over there? No, that's cool because she's got 6 or 7 friends on the screen and they're all hanging out together just on their phone. They're all doing different stuff. It's interesting, It's not something I'm used to, and it's taken me quite a while. Like you said, it's been 2 years since we did this. And that alone, that one topic alone has come hundreds of miles since then.
Yeah.
Look what we're sitting in front of for crying out loud.
Yeah, why don't you describe
Well,
the
when
setting?
we first did this, I believe we did have the microphones.
We did. We didn't have these cords of the audio
The-
recording.
The fancy
Yeah.
schmancy setup down there. Yeah. And there was a laptop and one iPhone. Now I'm getting stared down by 3 cameras that, I don't know, man. It's different. I mean, they're positioned crazy, and here we are. Not that this is any different than it would be if they weren't here. I'd just be shooting the shit talking to you anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird, 3 little rectangles. Don't they look like small aliens that want to kill you? You know what I mean? The tripods to their legs, and they're coming after you, dude. Just like in that one commercial with Serena Williams and the tennis balls. You know what I'm saying? That's what they look like, dude. Except there's no tennis ball hopper on the top of them.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah,
they
dude,
all
right?
they all kind of got eyes.
Yeah.
You see the big one, the main one we got on this bigger tripod. It's got 2 eyes. The other ones just have 1 eye.
But
Little
they all
cyclops.
got their sights set on us, man. This one's after me. This
Yeah.
one's gonna grab us both just
Yeah,
in case
yeah.
his minions don't handle us.
Exactly.
This is why I don't have an iPhone right here. Look at this. Look at this, man. It's a production company right here in 3 phones and a microphone.
Yeah.
What is it? I got
So
3
then, what do you?
phones.
I feel like your opinion or outlook on technology might actually be more accurate than the people that use it all the time. But in 5 years, where do you think technology will be as far as this kind of
How
stuff?
can you even put a cap on that? Technology is the fastest train that is unstoppable. I mean, because, we're sitting here using it, but think about it, there's a zillion people right now trying to advance it. AI, all this stuff, dude. You don't know where it. Look at the last 2 years alone. I mean, just the technology for my small little speck of life in this crazy world has gone from 0 to 1,000,000. And just watching my daughter use it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she didn't have a phone last time when we did this, and now, she can whip through that phone with her thumbs faster than some of the fastest thumb whippers in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, okay, if that's the thing, but it worries me that life is going to lose human interaction. It's always going to be,
Yeah.
hey, what's up, man? Cool, later. Or swipe right or whatever the hell it is, But, yeah, I guess given the way I was brought up and given the way everybody else is being brought up, like they're born with one of these.
Yeah.
Think about how the first one of those.
Right out of the womb, they already got their
Yeah.
hands on the
Yeah, right.
screens.
Dude, they're already like, hey, man, put me back in. I was watching that. Like, I wasn't done with the season yet. Oh, no.
Here he is again.
It's the same person, too. It's my good buddy. Hey, man, still on the podcast. You're on it now, too, again. Yeah, what up, podcast? That's what he says. Yeah, see? It's not grandma, weirdo. Funny, dude. But, are we going fishing? No. I'm right in front of my garage, mate. Are we going fishing or what? Yeah, that's fine, dude. Yeah. Keys are inside the front door. Plates aren't right. But I'm just letting you know. Huh? Sounds good, man. I'll be here. I'll be literally right here with iPod aliens looking at me. So, yeah, I got you, man. Equalize them. All right, sounds good. Anyway. But yeah, technology is endless. There's no stopping it. There's no slowing it down. There's only speeding it up, making it faster.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants, right? Tap and it's here now. Right? Instant gratification. That's what the world's all about now, right?
So how do you, more and more, the expectations of people in society is instant.
Yep.
So how do we as human beings have a deeper understanding of this, like, to live a great life, it requires work and effort.
A lot of it.
And it doesn't just happen. And you can't just wish it. You can't tap a button. Can't swipe anything.
Dude,
How do we consider that?
Take your family, for example, man. Your dad is straight up, and I guarantee you I said this somewhere on the last podcast, and whether it made it to air or not, I don't know. But your dad literally is one of the hardest working people I know. He retired so he could get to work. Like, dude, I tell everybody that, dude. Like, yeah, man, Mel retired. He had to get to work. It's insane, man. Like, and that's the thing. Like, that's how he was raised. This is what you do. This is how you got to do it, and you're going to do it. And you do it,
Yeah.
And now the world has gotten to this advanced spot where, right, man, instant gratification. You're never going to turn back the dial now that the monster's out of the cage. You can't take this stuff away from people. You can't. It's here to stay. And like I said, it's only going to get smaller and faster, and eventually it'll just be a chip in your brain, or who knows, man. They make glasses with internet on them, right? That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? See? Who knows, man? It's what are you going to do? What can you do? There's nothing you can do. You can manage it as best you can, but that's the thing. That's why I have a flip phone, because I just don't want nothing to do with it altogether. But it's all around you. It's no matter what you do. You don't like let's take, for example, all the doctors and nonsense that I had to deal with over the last couple of weeks. 99% of it is faster if you just do it on the computer, as opposed to actually calling a human being and saying, hey, my name is Frank. Here's my problems. Here's what I need. Here's what I got to do. How do we do it? Well, if you would have put it in an email, you get a response in 30 seconds. You talk to a human, you wait all day to hear back, and that's crazy to me. That's so backwards to me, because again, we're losing that human interaction. We're losing that personability that you get with a conversation, like Rich's conversation. Like that's the thing, man. And you see it in some kids too, where they kind of have trouble and struggle a little bit with human interaction just because they got their phone. What else do they need? It's different, man.
Yeah. How would you say your perspective has changed in the last 2 years?
And what? Everything?
Yeah.
Well, like I said before we started this, is that given my situation, and whether you tell them or not, I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. But
Do you want to mention it just real quick?
well, okay, yeah, I got some cancer. I got a lot of cancer. I've had some struggles over the last couple of years. I've had some serious surgeries too. Brain being one of them. That was something. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit because that was. I don't know if that happened in the last 2 years. Did I have brain surgery prior to us doing the last Richest Conversations? No. So that happened in the last 2 years, eh? All right, we'll get into that a little bit because that was the all-time.
Why don't we do it right now? Describe
I'm
it.
I'm gonna get there. So, that was a game changer. So if you want to talk about changing perspectives, this is the Mount Everest of perspective changes. So prior to that, you just deal with what you got to deal with. You do what you got to do. You are who you are. And so I went into an MRI, and within minutes, usually MRIs are an hour at least long, and I didn't have no problem going into machines. I didn't have no problem going to the hospital.
So it's a machine. What is this MRI machine
So
like?
it basically sticks you in this tiny little tube, and I mean tiny, dude. Especially, I'm a giant.
You're a big guy.
It's like cramming this boat into a backpack. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it is, dude. And it's not great. And the noises that the noises are insane. Why does it have to make all these crazy sounds? Maybe it's doing. I don't know. I never asked him. I'm gonna ask him next time. Now that I brought that up, but I was in that machine for 15 minutes at most. And they slid me out of there, and when they slid my fat ass out of there, right in front of me, they had the little light screen, and they had my X-rays of my head, and right in the frickin' front of my head was a walnut, dude, a black walnut. It looked just like a frickin' actual walnut too. It was like the shape and size of a walnut, and I was like, "That's a problem, isn't it?" And they're like, "Yeah, this is a problem. We're gonna have to fix this right now," and I was like, "All right. I gotta go home first." What? No, that's not how this works, man. Now, I didn't want to go. I couldn't make the transition from I was struggling with it real bad because it's all right, this shit's happening. It's happening now, and I was like, listen, it's already there. It ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get my affairs in order. I'm gonna come back and do what you gotta do. And man, they sent in doctor after doctor. They're like, "No, if you go home, this." I said, "Listen, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. You guys can say whatever you want. I'm doing this because I know that I might be in the hospital for who knows, maybe I'm not gonna wake up." That's what I immediately started thinking, But who knows, man? So I came home. I took care of the things I needed to take care of. Went back to the hospital, and man, I was in a gown in a thing. Ever show you the pictures? Did I ever show you the pictures of me with that metal helmet on?
I think you did.
All right. So it looked like Magneto, man. It was a helmet, dude, with it was like a crown. And I'll never forget they had to bring in 4 different doctors. The 2 that I were working with, they were bringing 2 other ones. And they picked the 4 spots that they were going to screw my helmet into. And all of them shot it with a needle. Had to count it down. 3, 2, 1, 4 shots at once. And then they screwed this huge metal freaking helmet to my head, and I mean they were not small screws. These were 3/8 half-inch screws, man. They went all the way to your skull, all the way through your skin, all the way into your skull. Marks on my skull, and because that's how I was doing some experimental stuff for the research and all this stuff. Because I don't care, man. I'm already gonna be suffering and going through bullshit anyway. I might as well let them experiment. Why not?
That's the spirit.
Dig around and have fun. Do what you gotta do. If you find something neat, let me know. I want to name it. That's just kind of how it is, man. And so I went in this crazy machine, and they had to do all this experimental radiology and lasers and gamma knives and whatever. So I got done with that, and that took a little while. That was a long process. And then they wheeled me into a room with the helmet on, because I had to keep the helmet on until I got into the brain surgery, because they had to really specifically. I mean, this is brain surgery, man.
You don't want to be off
Yeah.
Just a little bit,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Nobody sneeze. All right?
Yeah.
Nobody freaking sneezed. Here we go. You know, like, and who knows, dude? Like, anyway, they wheeled me in this room, and literally this tiny little room with a little medical bed. It seemed like a storage room, kind of. It was weird. And they're like, all right, you got about an hour before your surgery. And I'm like, I freaked. I was like, you're going to make me sit here for an hour? You're going to make me sit right here alone with nobody with this thing on for an hour? I was like, all right, I'm going to need a pen and paper right now. And they brought me a pen and paper because, dude, it was like the amount of thoughts, the amount of holy shit. I mean, nothing has ever hit me like a wave like that where it's like, dude, you are about to go through something right now, you know? And it's like, I couldn't write fast enough because, I mean, the slop that I don't know what happened to those papers either. I've looked. I told the nurse, I was like, hang on to these until afterwards. I want to read them. And maybe, I don't know, who knows? Maybe she'd write them and she's like, he don't want to read these. I don't know. Because I don't remember what I wrote down, dude. Like, this is,
man.
This is going into something, number one, I've never done. Number two, that is probably the scariest moment in my life. And number three, that's happening, like, all of a sudden, dude. Like, this is an hour after they show me a picture of walnut in your head. So, anyway, when I go into surgery, and it sucks that I have to say that, but whatever. When I go into surgery, every single time, since the first time I've ever been knocked out, something that is big deal to me is that when they put the mask on your face to knock you out, I always make sure it's my hand that puts that mask over my face because I don't want any of these people to feel responsible. Once I knocked myself, I did it.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like you have the control.
Yeah.
You're doing this yourself. So if you move on, you know what I mean? Like, you were the last one that did it. It was your decision. That's just my mental thing. You know, I don't know how other people do it, but that's how I feel. And especially that time, because I was like, and it's funny because every time I've gone into surgery, I've said something funny right before I passed out and made everybody laugh. I remember when they did my neck surgery, man, which was that was a rough one too. When they did surgery on my neck, I said something so funny they had to stop surgery, dude, because somebody brought it up while they were. I don't know what I said. They told me to. I forgot what it was. But I said something. I was like, "Is everybody comfortable? Everybody doing good?" You know, like checking on everybody else. And somebody said something. I was like, "You guys are doing the work. I'm just gonna take a nap, dude." You know, and man, it was something. But yeah, like, so when I woke up from that, like, I could not believe that I was alive, dude. Like, that is heavy. And like I said, the thoughts that go through your head and things that you really realize in that instant, in that moment, in that second, that what is important to you, you know. And the two things that I personally discovered at that moment was, like, I wanted my kid and my kid's mom. Like, you know, she's the one who gave me this wonderful miracle, you know, and regardless of our relationship status or situation, like, I was, you know, it's like that's what I thought about. That's where my mind went. That's where it went, dude. Immediately to your kid and immediately to my kid's mom, man. Like, I just realized that these are the two most important people in my life. Like, you know, your family is absolutely important. Your friends are absolutely important. But, like, you know, you don't have kids with your friends. You know what I mean? Like, unless you do. I mean,
Unless you do, then you do.
Hey, no judgment on this side of the recording, man. Like, hey, that's your thing. That's your thing. But, you know, like, it was crazy, man. And so this is where the story gets real good. So now that I'm awake and I'm alive, like, I was in shock, dude. My buddy Andy was kicking it with me there, dude. He's my right-hand man. He's seen me through all this stuff, dude, because I don't really like people seeing me like that, you know, dude. It's a different world. You go through some crazy emotional, psychotic stuff, dude. Both good, bad, funny. Like, it's all over the place. So anyway, there's going to be some excerpts that I can't state in this story that I have to keep out for the greater good. But anyway.
Understandable.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm in a hospital. I woke up. I got a turban in my head because I got some serious surgery going on my head. And they actually gave me a couple options of how they wanted the scar to look. And I got
Really?
Yeah. And I got the letter J for Janela because I couldn't get a G. Like, he couldn't hook it back. I was like, dude, I don't care if you got to make an extra decision.
G for the Packers.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like, if you're going to give me the option, I want that G right here in my head. Let's do it. Because it's never going to go away, dude. It's on your dome forever, you know? And he was like, I can't make the incision back, so he can make a C. I said, the Bears, get out of here.
The Bears.
So you can't make it look like a G. You just stay away from that entirely. We don't need no accidental C's up there, you know? So I had to make it a J. It was a backwards J, but it was all right. So I'm sitting there, and, I mean, I am doped up. They had me on medications. Of all the medications, and I don't know if I should be exposing this to your listeners or not, but of everything they can give you in the hospital, and believe me, I have been on a high percentage of just about anything they got to offer. The number one top dog, dude, is this crazy stuff they call Dilaudid.
Dilaudid?
Yes. It is the most magical substance on the face of this earth. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's made. I don't know what's in it. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how they got it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know the history of it, nothing. I've never even looked it up because I don't want to know. But it is like a magical potion. And when they put it in your freaking blood, everything just dissipates. You just float. And not for long. You can get about a half hour if they put enough in you. But anyway, I was on all kinds of whatever they had me on. And I had to do probably 30 or 40 different brain cognitive tests. Memory. Just everything, man. These tests are something.
You showed me one of them a while back in like
1A,
December.
2B.
Yeah, you have to
3C.
like. You can't even do that with a regular brain. Like what?
Dude, and they go all the way up to 10 numbers. So they start with like, all right, we'll just do a real simple one. So I'm going to give you 3 numbers, okay? List them in order from highest to lowest.
Okay.
2, 1, 3.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. So that expands into 10 numbers.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes.
And they give you different orders and stuff.
And there's sometimes there's repeats. So it's like 3, 1, 2, 2, 6, 4, 8, 2, 3. And you gotta bring them back in order, just how it is. 1, 2, and figure it out. So there's this one test that they gave me real recently. This is actually like a week or 2 ago, where they give you there's 8 blocks, okay, and these blocks they're square, perfectly square like dice, and they're diagonally 2 different colors, white and red. Okay, and first you start with 3 blocks, and they say here's a picture, put the blocks in this picture, okay. Dude, when you get to like 6 blocks. Like they're doing some crazy stuff, dude. And I'm like, it makes you get so frustrated because you know, dude, this is just a block. I can figure this out. Just give me some time. But it's time. Tick, 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 tick. You know, so it's like, no, I'm not done. Hold on, wait, shut the fuck up. You know, like you're just trying to figure it out, man. And you know you can figure it out. You're playing with freaking blocks here, you know?
Yeah.
But like, it's the clock and them watching you and analyzing you and all this stuff. And it's like, makes you feel real dumb, dude, because it's such a simple task. And eventually, dude, I wiped all the blocks out. I don't want to play stupid game. I don't want to play anymore. You know, like.
Frank failed his
yeah,
test.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did a couple times. But so anyway, when I woke up, Cardinal. When I woke up from all that and realized that I made it through, and realized that everything's gonna be all right, I was immediately ready to leave. I didn't want to be there anymore. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And I got dressed and everything, and the nurse comes in. She goes, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I'm getting out. I'm going home. She said, no, you're not. It's been like 2 hours since I've been awake, dude. You know what I'm saying? I can barely talk right, you know. And she's like, get back in your gown, get back in the bed. And I already did all these tests. Like the second I woke up, they started them. Like the lady was there, and like they started tests. And because I wanted to get out of there, dude. I don't like being after that. The hospitals freaks me out, and we'll get to that perspective in a second. But I'll finish the story. So anyway, the nurse is yelling at me for getting dressed and all this stuff, and like she's giving me this huge lecture on how there's no way you're leaving in the same day. get prepared to stay overnight. You're not going home today. All the stuff. And as she's saying this, the PA comes in, physician assistant comes in, literally right over her left shoulder, dude, right here, like this far away from her, and says, "You're good to go, Mr. Malcolm." And I fucking put my shirt back on. I said, "See you later." And she's like, wait. There's no way he's okay to go. And she got an argument with the PA about how there's no way that I'm ready to leave this hospital. I said, "I'm good to go. See ya." So this is how it ends, okay? Which is probably unlike anybody else you're ever going to meet who's ever had brain surgery. That's for damn sure. So not only was I out of there in less than 4 hours after waking up, but I immediately went from the hospital and called all my friends, and we all met up at Maxie's over there to eat oysters, dude. Yeah, I went from the hospital to the oyster spot with the turban, and I sat down, dude. I felt like a king, dude. All my boys were there, man, it was crazy. We sat there and sucked down oysters for a couple hours. What? Yeah, man, that's how that ends. I even had a drink. I think I had a 7 and 7 while I was sitting there, too. I know, it was crazy. That's how it ended. Like, that was the conclusion of the story was after that, dude. It's like, that's what I did. Sitting eating oysters 5 hours after having brain surgery.
So is there ever a point during all of this that you've gone through, do you think you're going to live forever?
I do.
You'll probably live forever.
That's just one thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, like.
Yeah, I can, off the top of my head, I know a few other
Did I
stories.
show you my scar?
Which one?
Hold this for a second.
All right.
You ever see that one?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Here, show that camera over there.
I don't really know how that view is gonna be, but I'm sure it's there somewhere.
That's a nice, tasty one.
That's when my leg exploded, man. You know, boom! It exploded. It was all purple from my crotch to my toes, dude. Purple, not light purple, like frickin' Minnesota Viking frickin' uniform purple. It was bad news bears, dude. And that stuff, it blew up. Boom! I had to have 3 surgeries on it. I was hooked up to a vacuum machine for a year after that. Like, how do you live with? You know what I mean? I told you that the other day. I know it didn't make it here, but. You know, that was rough, dude. Just having to deal with that. Like, what are you going to do? You know, you don't want to go anywhere because, you know, you think what people are seeing of you. You know what I mean? Like, even though I really don't care what people have to say about me, like I said, I'm still wearing a damn shirt, too. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people's opinion of me doesn't matter. I am who I am. This is the way it is. And, but when you're in a spot like that where you have a machine hooked up to you and you got to carry it around like it's your purse, you know what I mean? Like, it's not great, man. It makes life complicated. I had to do a lot of stuff, a lot of different ways, and man, that was crazy too, you know. And I think that was within the last 2 years too. I don't think that happened before.
So
our last one either.
So all these things, how do you? And I imagine and know that. You know, it's tough every single day. Like, how do you stay positive through it all? And how do you, like, make the most of it?
Well, I'll say right off the bat, when you have a grandma like ours, it's hard not to stay positive, dude. That woman is frickin' the greatest human being.
She's great.
That's ever been put on this planet. And, you know, I got a few friends that go visit her from time to time, too, just because they want to see grandma, dude. Like, I got buddies that go hang out with my grandma. You know what I mean? Who in the world has that? You know, she's that cool of a lady, dude. She's got some of the greatest stories to tell, even though you've heard them 1,000 times. I'll listen to 1,001.
Yeah.
You know, I love it, dude. She's always smiling, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with, you know, the people that you are growing up with, you know what I mean, and how you're raised and, you know, the way you grew up and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah, man, you surround yourself with positive people, you get positive outcomes. Look at these clowns.
Yeah.
You were golfing?
Got a few
were you
people.
golfing?
We were.
Yeah, you could tell. Look at their swagger. they hit 18 and probably had 18.
No, we did 18, then we got a free 9.
Oh, really?
Beers and
Sammy,
lunch.
how are you?
It was fantastic.
You too, man.
Got a few more gentlemen here with us.
How you doing?
That's Josh. That's Sam. Good boys over here.
Great, guys.
Yeah.
Well, on this last note, we're kind of wrapping up here.
All right.
What advice would you give to listeners and viewers on life and how to deal with adversity?
Dude, forget everything except for what makes you happy. Period. And that gentleman over there can attest to that because we've had some conversation over the last couple of weeks. But anyway, for real, that's actually where it has boiled down to, is that honestly, you know, going back to the technology, wrapping it all up with the brain surgery and whatnot, the only thing that matters is what puts a smile on your face, man. Because when do you feel better than when you're laughing or when you're smiling? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everything else is just filler. You know what I mean? Like, things could end now, like right now, during this, dude. Who knows? You don't know, dude. Like, the garage could close right here.
Boom.
You're done.
I'm right.
You're
I'm
done.
right.
Yeah, you're right on it.
Yeah.
It's the worst spot in the world. Like, you just get danger right in the face and flip it.
At least
off,
we
dude.
get it on video.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. You're smiling about it. Exactly what I mean. You proved everything I just said right there in a nutshell. You know, because like that's how it is, man. You got to look at the positive side, because the other side, what good is worrying about, you know, like, all right, to dip into it. So a thought that I had that really brought me down the other day was, and this is, you know, I honestly never stopped to think about this until real early on in all this process, was, what if my kid has to go through this?
Yeah.
You know, all the shit that I've gone through, I don't care. I'll go through it. I would much rather be me than you, and anybody else I know, because at least I know I'm going through it. I can just deal with this. You know what I mean? As much as it sucks sometimes, like, I would much rather take that responsibility than have to pass that on or give that to somebody else, you know? And I thought that for a second. I was like, shit, what if Janella has to deal with this? And I lost it, dude. I started crying real hard. Yeah, because I never... Like, through all the bullshit, you know, in the very beginning, I thought about it because I did all this gene testing that cost me thousands and thousands of dollars because insurance doesn't cover it. That's why I donated to the Cancer Center. It's so important, because a lot of the R&D they do, it's not funded by the hospital. It's not funded by the insurance companies. It's funded by people who need to know this information, but they can't just do it. Yeah. That's why, go ahead. You want to freaking run some experiment? You want to tool around in there and you want to redo a little rewiring? Hook up some, go ahead, man. Put some jumper cables in there, dude. Fire it up. You know, like, that's just kind of how it is, man. Yeah. So, but we can continue after I take care of this. I just got to go with some keys. So I don't care.
That's all right. We're at a good point right now.
All right.
So I definitely want to thank you for coming back on. It's been so good.
Yeah, man.
Always great to see you.
Yeah,
and thanks for listening and watching. This has been another episode of Rich Conversations
Rich Conversations
with Cousin Frank.